You're now tuning in live with DMEG Radio. Danni Gyrl live. Couch Conversations. Let's go! Couch Conversation with Danni Gyrl live. DMG Radio on fire. You listen and ride where you hear the hottest underground and independent music. Tune in with Couch Conversations where they talk about it. No, it ain't the Breakfast Club. It's Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. No, it ain't the Breakfast Club. It's Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Danni Gyrl going live. Killer! DMG Radio. Danni Gyrl live. Couch Conversation. You know what it is. Monsters.
Welcome to Couch Conversations. Thank y'all for tuning in one more week. I have a really good show for y'all tonight. We will be talking about grief. I thought the subject would be appropriate, seeing as how 2023 was a horrible year for a lot of people. A lot of people suffered loss, and I've heard a lot of things that people have said as far as telling people how to deal with grief and how to grieve, how long they should grieve, and all these types of things. So with that being said, I wanted to do an episode about grief. So we have a couple guests that's going to be tapping in with us tonight to talk about their grief journey. And y'all just get ready, okay? Y'all pull out y'all tissue, because it's going to be emotional. If you know me, you probably going to know some of the people that we'll be talking about today as far as losing people and things like that. So y'all stay tuned in. Tag somebody, invite somebody, bring somebody, share the live. Make sure that you bring somebody to watch this tonight. This is going to be a very good episode. So first of all, I want to start off by saying the definition of grief. Grief is deep sorrow, especially that is caused by someone's death. Grief is the acute pain that accompanies a loss. So a lot of people associate it with death, but grief is associated with loss in general. I tell people sometimes when you divorce or you break off a relationship, you have to grieve over your relationship. Grief is a hard subject to talk about. What I realized is people need to take time to grieve over things that they lose, no matter how big or small, because some way, somehow, it's gonna come back. And it's gonna bother you. When I got my divorce, I never grieved over my divorce. I got my divorce, and because being divorced put me into single parent mode, I just went through it. We got divorced and I moved on, and I went. And it really took me about 3 or 4 years to realize that I never grieved over the loss of my marriage. Other words that are associated with grief are sorrow, misery, sadness, anguish, pain, distress, and agony. They all associate with grief in different ways. Also, I wanted to tap on the difference between grief and mourning. So the difference between grief and mourning is grief is what is felt when someone passes. Mourning is the outward expression of the grief. So mourning would be the crying and the depression, the sorrow, the whatever you feel emotionally that accompanies the grief. Physically, whatever you do physically that accompanies the grief. It's the outward expression. So there is a difference between mourning and grief. Another thing that I wanted to say, I wrote this down too, just to make sure that I didn't forget. There is no timeline or timetable for grief. So people feel like, someone passes and you're supposed to get over it. Perfect example, shout out to my homegirl Candy. I have these conversations with Candy all the time. Candy lost her baby brother, and that was also her best friend. And people started telling her, like, to get over it. First of all, that is nothing you get over. It's hard enough to lose your best friend, but when your best friend is your brother, that's nothing that you just wake up overnight and be over in 2 or 3 months. That is something that is going to affect her for the rest of her life. Not just her, his family, period. For the rest of their life. They lost somebody. Like, there's going to be a void that's there now. Somebody that's not there for the family functions, and things like that become life changing. So it's really hard to grieve and mourn, and people really are not understanding of a lot of people's grief journey. Um, Grief can affect your mental health. It can affect your appetite. It can cause you to lose sleep. It can make you tired. It can make you restless. And all those things are because your mental is being messed with. So when you're not in a good mental space in any type of situation, you probably lose your appetite or you can't sleep. A lot of people go through that when they break up with somebody or when they go through a divorce. They go through periods of not being able to eat or sleep and things like that. So I just want to tell people there is no timeline or timetable for grief. When you lose somebody, no matter how close the relationship, it's going to affect you in some type of way. What I'm realizing in my own grief journey is I haven't accepted a lot of deaths. I started counting up people that I lost in 2023, and somewhere after February, March, I don't know, somewhere after February or March last year, it just started being like so many deaths that I couldn't keep up. I started forgetting who passed, who didn't. I've never felt like that before. That was something different. Like, I really had to sit down and think about how many people had passed and who they were and when they passed. I had to really start taking it in, and some of it I still haven't taken in. I realized that when I was preparing for tonight's show. I have a picture of my uncle on the wall. Actually, it's his obituary. I hung it on the wall last year when he passed in March. And as much as I know he's not here no more, it really didn't dawn on me that he passed until I was getting ready for the show. Because it's been so much. It's been so much. But to all the people that are grieving, we want to be here for y'all tonight. Please feel free to tap in the comments if you would like to express something. If you have a question, feel free to tap in. That's what we're here for. We're here to have this subject and have this discussion because I can't. The way that some of y'all people come at people that are grieving is just amazing to me. And I just want to say this. When someone passes, if you don't know what to say, it'll probably be best that you just not say anything. I made a comment to somebody and told them, if you don't know what to say, just say my condolences and keep it moving, because some of y'all say stuff. First of all, let me say this. When people pass, don't say I know how you feel. That is so, I don't want to say disrespectful, but everybody's journey and everybody's relationship with somebody is different. Even if you lost your mother, you can't tell somebody else that lost their mother, I know how you feel, because both of y'all relationships with your mother was different. So I just want to keep people engaged in this conversation. We'll be doing a 2-part, so it'll be today and tomorrow. But I just want to keep people engaged in this conversation so we can be there for each other, but also know how to deal with somebody that's grieving. One thing that I do want to talk about are the 5 stages of grief. We have denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And personally, I'm going to just tell y'all, with a lot of the deaths that I've had to deal with, especially last year, and I'm going to put that back up. I'm going to leave that up so y'all can see it for a minute. I'm still in some deaths, I'm in denial. For those of you that know I lost my auntie, I'm still between anger and bargaining. I've finally gotten to acceptance with a few people. I don't know if acceptance is acceptance, though. Let me just say that. I don't know if acceptance is acceptance, because they say that you're supposed to be accepting it, but I haven't accepted it. I'm just coping. I'm dealing with it. I've been through the 4 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, and depression, and I'm still not accepting it for a few people. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back from the commercial, we're going to bring our first guest on. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Loaded.
Welcome to Boss Daddy's, where we got the best ribs in the city, you dig? 3310 South Nellis, Suite 2526. Come down here. We open Tuesday through Saturday. And I got some ribs I got to tend to. That's enough right there. Don't show no more. Hey, welcome.
All right, y'all. So we back. I'm going to introduce my first guest. She's in studio. So we're going to go ahead and bring her on. And hey baby, where you at, baby? Miss Gigi.
Hey guys.
This is my daughter-in-law, Gigi. So she's here with me today, and her sister will be joining us shortly. And I wanted to have them on the show tonight because last year in January, we lost Gigi's mother, Miss Gretchen, a beautiful, beautiful person. And I was really just getting to know her when she passed. And it's been difficult because Gigi lives with us. And it's been difficult watching her grieve and watching her sister grieve, who I'm friends with as well. And I wanted to kind of bring them in so we could kind of talk about the grief journey, because I know losing a parent, baby, that's something different. That is something different. And Gigi, would you like to have something to say?
Yes. So if you didn't know, my mom passed on January 16th, 2023. It's been a year and some change. But where can I start? That weekend, I just remember feeling weird. It didn't feel right. It felt like something was off. I had spoke to my mom all weekend. Saturday, leading up into her being like, she just didn't feel good. And she had called me and she said, geez, like, I just want to feel better. She was just, I just want to feel better. And we didn't know what was going on. She tested for COVID, came back negative. We didn't know what was happening. We knew she just had a cold. She was throwing up. She didn't feel good. She had a headache. She was aching and in pain. And then it was just crazy because even through it all, she was still trying to still have a good spirit, not trying to scare us as her kids because we worry. We worry. One thing, we worry. If she say my back hurt, we taking her to the doctor, okay? And we just didn't know what to do. And Sunday, the 15th, was the day before MLK Day. And that morning, she called me again and she told me, come down. And I was coming down anyway. I usually go down on Sundays for church and just to have family day. So I was going to come down anyway, but I sped up the process because she called and I knew she wasn't feeling good. So I went down there and Paige called 30 minutes later. They're taking mommy to the hospital. She's in the ambulance right now. And we were on FaceTime. And I remember Paige, she flipped the camera around. And my mom was just in the chair, just panting, just in so much just so much pain. And she was breathing heavy. I didn't know what in that moment. I just had so much anxiety because I knew what my mom had gone through in her life, and she's always been a fighter. That's one thing about her. She's always been a fighter. She got into an accident in 2018, and that she could have lost her life that night. She could have lost her life 4 years ago, but God was with her. The car over her ran over her. Old man was driving with medicated off pills. The story I was told was he was medicated off pills and he was having surgery the next day or 2 days after, and which he shouldn't have been driving at all. If you having surgery, you should not be driving. You should not be driving. And so it was in the Crenshaw Imperial Plaza where DD's and all that is. And to this day, I still have trouble going into that parking lot where DD's is. My dad was with her that night. And thank God that God places people in the right moment at the right time. And he got that car off of her. Some way, somehow, God gave him the strength to get that car off of her. If she would have sat there any longer, she would have bled to death and died that night. And I'm just grateful that through that journey, even that journey, she had taught me so much about what it means to be close to God, what it really means to walk that walk. Because it's one thing to talk it, it's one thing to read your scriptures every day, it's one thing to tell people I live for God, got the Jesus chain, the cross chain. It's one thing to have all of that. But to watch her go through that journey and see that it was like she was on a whole different level when it came to God. She didn't have to, she came to church when she was able to, but even then she was still having worship. We played the services for her and she was still worshiping in her room, in her bed with her Bible. Right, Niquee? She was still watching the services. She was still in it. And fast forward to that weekend that she passed, my sister's on. Hi, Niquee.
I didn't know how
Passed.
to work it at first.
Hi, Niquee.
Hi, Niquee.
Hi guys.
We're talking about just that weekend leading up to mommy's passing. And I
Yeah.
was just saying, from the accident on, she's always been a fighter. She knew who her source was. She didn't worry. She didn't make us worry. She always instilled in us like God gonna he have you. You gotta trust him. You have to know that, and you have to live through that he got you. And yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to my sister. See how she felt.
Niquee, I have a couple questions for you.
Sure.
Gigi was just basically telling us the story of what happened, but my questions for you are a little different. You're the oldest,
Hmm.
and I know when you the oldest, you have a relationship that's different with your parent because you kind of grow up with them.
Right.
Right. I've been seeing your posts. I know you've been, especially in the last 60 days. How
Hmm.
you doing today, baby?
Um. Hmm. That's a good question. I think, for the most part, that I am content with the decision that God made. But there was plenty of times, even when this was happening, that I was angry, I was confused, I was upset. I just did not understand what was happening, what I was sitting through at any of this time. That any of this was happening. It was just very so unexpected, very so just not my mama, because she was old. Like, nobody, when we said, "Oh, this happened," or we're in the hospital, we was only here to check some blood pressure. Now this happened, and this is what's going on. Nobody really, like, I was on two group conference calls with my church praise team, which my mother was a part of, and with with our office, which she was a tax attorney at the over the
One of the
with
best
the
in LA, by the way. I'm sorry.
yeah, with the company. So I was in a text thread with these two things, letting people know, and everybody there was like, "Oh no, Miss G got this. She a fighter. They call her gangster grit." And in my whole mind, I knew that I was leaving home. I mean, leaving that hospital with my mama.
Hmm.
And when that did not happen, it seemed like every ounce of strength, belief, or anything I had in me was kind of like stripped. You know what I'm saying? But I quickly had to gather all my thoughts, because not only am I the oldest, but I have four siblings under me. And and we were all there. We were all there during and when it was happening, and I don't know. I just really have a lot to say. My friends kept telling me, "Oh, you're made of. See, God made you of Teflon." It's like, no, He didn't make me of Teflon, but a lot of times after that I couldn't cry. I don't even know the sound I made when this was going on. Like, it was turning into "Niquee, please calm down, because we don't want you to be in the hospital" type of situation.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
because I was in complete utter
Very
shock. Like,
angry. You became
yeah,
so angry.
I
You were
was
just so
angry.
angry.
You said I was angry?
Yes.
Yeah,
You was
I probably
angry.
was. I probably was. I probably was very angry. Like I said, it was a time where there was just a state of confusion. Like, I probably, it was a lot of my friends that probably didn't understand the mental space that I was in at that time.
Hmm.
Not even probably my siblings or my father or my grandmother or anybody that could not understand or even probably reach the capacity of the mental state I was in at that time, because I that's not something that, I mean, everybody knows we're born to die. Everybody knows you're gonna lose your parents at some point in time in life. Like, that's just how life goes. But for it to happen, and for me and my family, we've only really had one or two deaths before my mother, and I mean this is in the course of my lifetime. Like, my uncle died when I was graduating high school. He was my mother's brother, my grandmother's other one son, that I was extremely close to, and that took me a while to get over. Because he was sick, but when he died, like, I was out of town, so they didn't want to tell me. So when I got back, I'm thinking we're having this like party, you know what I'm saying. So I never really dealt with like death well, because maybe how it was presented to me, and the fact that I've never really been through it before like that.
Right.
Like the first in my family. Now, and right before my mom died, a month or 2 months before my mother died, my mother's brother passed, her other brother from my granddad. Had a sudden heart attack and died in his sleep. But I wasn't very close to him in my older years. You know what I'm saying? So it was an emotion there, but it wasn't an emotion there. Like,
Hmm.
if that is explains itself. You
I
know?
feel you. I was the same way. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
It,
sad, but I was like, I wasn't.
yeah, I was sad, but I wasn't
Yeah.
like, I was like, dang.
Hmm.
I was more sad for my mom than I was
Hmm. Yeah.
for me. That this is a second brother that my mom lost. It's only four of them, and you know, but I know I was probably angry. I know I was angry. Like I know I was mean. I
You were
know
angry.
it was,
I had
and I did I tried to
I had
stay
the
away. I tried to stay away, like because of how I felt a lot, but I really couldn't because right after my mom passed, one of my good friends passed,
that
and
was about to be what I was about to bring up next. Like while we was trying to deal with your
yeah,
mother passing, we got a big hit. Just got slapped all in the face, and we lost
yeah,
our guy, like one of our all of our best friends.
yeah.
Like, yeah, that that
I at that point I really could not understand. I really at that point it's never been of I question God because like I say I know the word. I know how I was brought up. I know what my mother raised us knowing and what we know. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in the church. This was our part of our lifestyle. So it's
right,
not that I didn't know, but it comes in a point in time when certain stuff happen, you just don't have no understanding of it, and
yeah,
you don't know how to get past the not having an understanding of it because now you can't piece it together because you don't even understand it.
right,
You don't even understand, like Lord, like really, like like I was this boy was just supposed to sing at my mama's funeral.
Yep, he
yeah,
was.
and the circumstances of everything and how it happened. Like we all went to Miss E's birthday celebration.
Hmm.
He sung that song, and we was in the back talking about he wasn't supposed to sing the song.
Yeah, he
I
wasn't
remember when he
supposed to
got
sing.
on stage, you
Well,
said he
I
wasn't
had
supposed to
met,
sing that song
I met,
tonight.
I had
He
went
wasn't
to,
supposed to sing that song tonight.
yeah, I had met Charles at the hospital for another one of our friends who was in an accident. And he came up to me, he said, I know I ain't seen you in a couple days. And actually, when I called him and told, I didn't even call Charles and tell him that my mother passed. He called me because I guess he heard through somebody else, through Albert or somebody, that my mom had passed. And when he got on the phone, he was like, "Hey, what's up?" He was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Chuck, my mom died. She passed this morning." And he hung up the phone on me, like he hung up.
No, I'm good.
And then I saw him. We end up leaving to go like do like a pray or go see one of the other fellas in the hospital that had been in had been in an accident. And he
Mm,
just came up to me. He was like, "I know you're not okay. I don't know how this feels." He was like, "But we gonna get through it." You know what I'm saying? He was like, I was like, "Well, you gotta you and Black gotta sing." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "But do I gotta sing like live?" And I was like, "What do that mean?" Like,
right,
what do that mean? He was like, I got, I got love for everybody and everything. He was like, but I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could sing. I don't want to be emotional type of, what I'm saying, type of situation. And he said he would record the song. And we would play it during the reading of my mom's obituary, and it just didn't never get to happen. So, um, just do this life, God. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
and even in that situation, like it was, I had never been so close to death in my life. Like,
right, right.
well,
I
one
think
other
that's when
time,
it started getting real for
yeah,
me.
it was one
That's
other
when it started
time.
getting real.
Yeah, it was one other time when I was with Ray, where I was there. I was right there. You know what I'm saying? Until they took the body out, like on the phone with him that morning. And then about 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, We were getting a phone call that he was gone. Like I was getting, Keon was waking me up in my sleep. Like we got to get to over here because they're saying Ray passed, and I jumped up. But that was the first time it was like home. Like like what? Like
Right.
what's going on? And we
And when
all
Ray
kind of
passed, I was living in Vegas. I had just left here. You had just threw me a birthday party. I had just
yeah.
left here. I had to turn around and come back.
Yeah, it was just it was I couldn't understand it. But like even through that we were all together and I had most of my friends during that time with
Yeah,
me together. And it
yeah,
was a year or so more until my mom had passed and then Chuck. And that was only like a 7-day, 8-day turnaround. That was 8 days in between. Like while we at his memorial, I remember Erica coming to me and said, "Nick, well, what we gonna do? What's up with the concert? What we, what I'm saying?" I said, "I can't even think past the reality that I'm in right now to try to think about a concert or
right.
what I'm saying. I try to participate as much as I possibly could, but my mental capacity at that time, like I said, I knew that I was angry, so I wasn't. And I'm a strong, dominant personality. You know what I'm saying? So in order to protect people from feeling how I felt or to lashing out on people, I kind of try to just stay back. You know what I'm saying? And until I can subside that or control that feeling.
Well, at least you were aware of how you were feeling because some people are not aware and they just lash out.
No. No, I don't think. I think like the lashing out. I don't think I fell out with any of my friends. The lashing out kind of became when mostly with my siblings, and it wasn't none of. We didn't fight. We didn't argue. We didn't disagree too much really about anything. I think you were there when we first started the process.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even my siblings. It was more so my mom's siblings that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stirred the pot.
Yeah.
Kind of made me upset a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And
Not talk about it.
but other than that, like it was me and my brothers and my sisters, we were kind of together. But at
Yeah.
that time, I also felt like I'm the oldest, and my little sister right here, she was sheltered. My mom kept a close hand on her. Like
Right.
she didn't go out of the house until she went to college, and even in college, she was in college in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
was still close and still sheltered and still not aware of the world in certain aspects.
She don't go nowhere
So
now.
so it was more so me now. I have a 23 year. I have two 23-year-old daughters, not just one. You know, now I got two, and one is going to college, and one got kids. So now my plate is full. So
Right.
Hmm.
but it's just I don't know. Like I feel like I've come a long way. I will say that. I feel like
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better. It was a lot of areas where I feel like I did not return back to work last season. I just could not go in my mama's office. I could not sit at her desk. I could not go into her dwelling, her space. You know
Yeah.
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
understandable. That's
At that
understandable.
time, I could not go into her space at that time. But the funny thing about it was, I moved right. I left from where I was and moved right into my mother's home with one of my other younger sisters because she was there by herself, and she had just lost her dad a year and a half before my mom passed.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the worry on me too was strong because I was so worried about how she was gonna feel now not having no parents. What was going on with my little sister? My brothers are pretty much already grown men. You know what I'm saying? They're hurt. They're hurting, but they didn't really need me in the aspect of like my sisters did.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable in my mother's home. I was comfortable in her bed. Like I felt comfort there. When you walked in the door, that's where you were gonna find me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sitting where my mother sat, and you know what I'm saying, and being
Right.
in her space. So, but I mean, that's for home. I could do that. For work, I could not. I couldn't take the pressure. I don't. I'm not a crier. I don't cry in public. If you ever see me cry, you better know I'm hurt. It's either I'm angry to my core or I'm hurt to my core because you're never gonna see a tear drop out of my eye. You know what I'm saying? Like in a public setting. So that it was a lot for me. It was a lot for me to be in there. People asking me that some people did not know. People were coming in. Oh, you like your mom? I even stopped going to church. I had so much anxiety on me when my mother passed. My mother was on the praise team. I was on the praise team. After my mother's funeral, I said I didn't think this through. I said I didn't think having her funeral at her homegoing at my church. I didn't think it through. Or I didn't know that it was going to have such an effect on me in the aftermath. Because literally for all of last year, I really I didn't go to church. I could not stand. I was off the praise team and everything for that whole year because I could not stand in that space where her casket was. I mean, the anxiety that I had, I felt like I was going through menopause, like hot flashes. I'm sick. 9 out of 10, I was throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Like even the same way I felt that day or going through that, well, every time I stood in front of that church right there, that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying?
And this is why I say people
That was
can't
the
tell
feeling.
people how to grieve because when you have to go back into those spaces
Oh yeah.
you were in with a loved one, it'd be hard. You know,
Yeah, my
when
mama was my
that
everybody know, but by the time I turned about 25, 20, I've worked for my mother my whole life, my mother and my father. I've had a outside job which is because I got my CNA, but because of my mama. Like you know what I'm saying? I got my CNA and I worked nights during the off season. But since I was 18 years old, I've been an employee of my mom. You know
happened.
what I'm saying? Or an employee of my dad. So I mean, this was everyday life with her, in and out. And then when she had her accident, she came and moved in with me from you know what I'm saying, me and Keon to aid her. You know what I'm saying, to help her and my kids to be able to when I wasn't there to have a keep an eye on her, keep her company. You know what I'm saying? So I was with her every single day,
Right.
every day of my life, every single the Friday. the Friday when she came home from work, I dropped her off. My sister came and got her from the car. You know what I'm saying? I dropped her off. Saturday I didn't see her. I talked to her. Sunday was right after church. We had a fundraiser. She had made cobblers and everything for the fundraiser. I was about to bring her chili, and my sister was calling saying that she was breathing kind of, like excitedly. Like just
Right.
like she just a little bit excitedly. So we called it. She called the ambulance, and the ambulance was like, no, that she's fine. Like there's nothing, but just for the sake, we'll take her. And if I had known in that moment that that was gonna be the last time I ever saw my mama, we would have just took the breathing. We wouldn't have taken her there because ultimately she didn't die of her breathing. She didn't die of her natural causes. She didn't die because she was ill. She died because of a medication
Yep.
that they administered to her, that they
Wow.
told us, hey, we gave her this, and she's had a severe allergic reaction to it. Like
Oh,
immediately her airways closed, her tongue swelled up, and immediately things just started happening real fast and real bad. And I know even in the hospital, I know I contain myself for the most part, but after for her, she coded the first time, and they brought her back. The nurse came out to me and said, if this happens, no, she didn't say if. She said when this happens again,
Yep.
our recommendation is that you do not resuscitate. And I'm like, what do you say? Why would you come tell me something like that?
Right.
Why would those be the words as a doctor or nurse or whatever you are? Why would those words be the words that come out of your mouth to me? I said, because we're going to resuscitate 100 times so the Lord says it's no more. You know what I'm saying? So God says it's no more. I said, but every time you're able to bring her back, bring her back. That would never be my decision. And but it was literally within 45 minutes they were telling us that. Like it
Yep.
was a done deal. We sat at that hospital from 2:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4 something in the morning. When she
mm-hmm.
finally passed it our last time. And it was so emotional for everybody there, even the doctors. The doctor that was the one that was working with her, he was in tears because he was hurt from how us. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, we've never gone this long. Like we're on 16 minutes. Like he didn't want to stop though because he was like, he's looking at us. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't supposed to be in the hallway? We were supposed to be and go home. You know,
Yep. They
Right.
gave us a waiting room for the night,
yeah,
everything, blankets, everything.
yeah,
Yep.
because we weren't supposed to no longer even be in the area. It had closed down, but they kind of extended the privilege to us because of what was happening at the time.
Yep.
And like I said, we were all there. So I mean, you wasn't about to put 15 of us out the hospital, but maybe
Yeah.
one or two, but not 15 of us. But it was just a very shocking time. Even now, and I mean, I sat plenty of days in my car, in the bathroom, in her room, and would really be like, "Oh my God, my mom is really gone. Like she's really." I had to really say the words, "My mom is dead." Like my mom is really no longer on this earth. It was like I had to convince myself that this is what was happening to process the situation. Like,
Sometimes I think that people feel like, when we get to the funeral and we see them in a casket, it's going to give us closure, but it don't.
It don't.
It don't. It's still like unreal almost. It's like,
yeah,
that's the part that felt like a dream.
Yep.
it was very, very unreal. And then, like I said, we have little kids and little kids that were in the house with my mother. You know what I'm saying? While she was alive, and my son used to say, I'm, mom, yeah, I wrote a note to Jenny, and I'm still praying for her, and we'll put the note in a jar. As if we could give her the physical jar. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I had no idea how to explain to him that, baby, heaven is heaven, and you don't see nobody. You know what I'm saying? Until you get there.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone from here for right now. You're not gonna see her again until you get to heaven. But he literally for months was like, oh, in his prayers at night, in his prayers on the way to school, and thank you, Lord, for Janny and for keeping her safe. And I'm just looking like, you know,
Yeah.
what do
My
what
auntie's
do
funeral,
I say
my
and do in this
cousin started
situation?
calling her. And I know where it came from because he a baby, and I know church is a family space for us. So I
Yeah,
know he was expecting that we were at church and she would be there. But it
yeah,
just like it slapped everybody like, oh shoot, you know. My cousin, I don't know if she's still on here. Aunt Trinice.
Hey,
Aunt
underneath.
Trinice has been a strong person. And I know she always tell me she's not strong, but I feel the same way about you. You have to be a strong person to be able to be the oldest and step into some shoes that you know are too big to fill.
Man,
Still be able to try to walk in them, you know. Um, that's a lot. That's a lot.
even with going back to work this season, I went back to church full time on the praise team, just trying to manage my anxiety and you know what I'm saying, and overcome what that feeling of anxiety. And I did the same thing with going back to work for her. And for the most part, it's on the 2 weeks. These last 2 weeks have probably been the roughest time being there because this was the 1 year anniversary of everything. The 1 year anniversary of her death. The 1 year anniversary of her celebration of life of us. You know what I'm saying? Saying our last goodbyes to her. So it was kind of real delicate for me. You know what I'm saying? Um, One thing that did it was that I helped me was I didn't really have to focus so much on it because I tried to keep myself busy. There was a lot of things that I was doing and working with and working on with different things that kind of kept my mind a little clear. You know what I'm saying? And then and then even in those times, I had to remember, hey, reach out to your siblings, reach out to your brothers, reach out to your sisters, and make sure they're
Yeah.
okay. You know what I'm saying? Even though I felt a certain type of way and I wasn't okay, I had to make sure I called my sisters, make sure I called my brothers, and make sure you know what I'm saying? Hey, I know that um, we talk every day, most of us. We
Mm-hmm.
got group chats, you know what I'm saying? But I know that for the most part, everybody, we all have been like that. Every mom, people used to call my mama kids only child. Like only that we all felt like we were her only child. We
Yeah.
all say my mom, we all say my dad. You know, you wouldn't think we was raised. Me and my brothers and my brothers are 2 years apart from each other because it's always a mine. We always felt like that was our space and our time. You know what I'm saying? That's my mama. Like you know, and people will always say, and we kind of act like that as adults. Like yeah, I'm in my own space. I'm in my own time with it, but I just have to make sure I connected and stay with them, even though I was feeling some type of way. And just try to do what my mama want us to do. The one thing she did do was keep our kids together. We had Sunday dinners. We didn't miss a Christmas. We didn't miss a Resurrection Day. We didn't miss Thanksgiving. She cooked every holiday, mostly every single Sunday, and it was our duty
To
to
be there.
show up because that was her time with us. You know,
Yeah, I
her
figured that
time with
out.
us as her children, not at work, not at church,
Lord
not
Girl,
at.
have
that
mercy.
was
The
the
Christmas
best
brunch.
brunch.
Lord Jesus.
Oh
We
yeah.
had fish, chicken. It was the best. That was the
That's when
best
I found
brunch.
out how family oriented your mother was. Because
Yeah.
Oh
that
yeah.
was something different. That was beautiful. That was something different.
Yeah, my
Uh,
mama had 5 children, and boy, that was the one thing we was gonna do. We were gonna eat,
Yep.
and
What
and
the?
we was gonna be together. Like that was her only. And when I say she felt so strongly about that, my mother was married 3 times. Jeezy's dad was the last time, but my dad, you know what I'm saying, all through me and my siblings being born, and you know what I'm saying, and then probably 2 years after they stopped being married, she married Paige's dad. And Paige's dad was the dad that was in the house with us for years, for at least 11, 12, 13 years of my life. From 5 until I graduated high school. Or about to graduate high school, and then whatever, had things happen or whatever, and then she met and married Jeezy's dad. And when I say she felt so strongly about us all being together, the dads knew
Mhm.
the kids are going to be here. All of you guys are welcome. And this has been all of our life where I would have my dad, my stepdad, and my stepdad all in the same place with holidays, and
you know what?
everybody understood.
Good co-parenting. That's good.
Yes,
That's
everybody
good
understood. Everybody got the point. It was my mother was so good at that. It became a joke. Like, Mama, you got all your men's up in here, you know, you know.
one
But
thing one thing I wanted to talk about was a lot of people be there for you right after
mhm.
death. People disappear after the funeral.
Oh yeah.
So how did y'all cope with that? Because I know just in my personal experience, I've been dealing with my auntie's death. I was very close to my auntie. She helped raise me. Me and her kids, we call each other brother, cousin, sister, cousin, because we cousins, but they're my brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
And I know I've been trying to keep tabs on them because Antronice made a comment about people not calling and checking on them no more, and I get it. I think that when the funeral happens, people feel like, oh, life goes on. Um, but did you have people still calling and checking up on y'all after the funeral?
Um, yes, only because, and that's probably where we differ. What's her name? Anthony's. That's her name.
Anthony? Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably where we differ. I've always been a very private in my feelings, in my moment, in private. So when the call stopped for me, or they slowed down, I was cool with that because I don't want to talk about it. Don't remind me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can
I was
see that
cool with
coming
that.
from you. I can see you doing that.
Like, please don't call and ask me about my mama. Don't call and ask how I'm doing, because it's kind of clear how I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so I
Hi,
really didn't.
Jameson.
Hi, Jamie.
I'm sorry,
Hi,
guys. I just
Joy.
he just couldn't help himself. But I was really cool with that. The one thing I did notice is that the dads, my dad, my papa, which is Jeezy dad, um man, they when I say whew, and not that, and I'm a daddy's girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love my mother to death. But I was a daddy's girl and I still am. And for even me, I pushed away from him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I know I'm not your mom, but I mean, hello, can you call? Can I, you know what I'm saying? Pop up, but they was 100%
Listen, I gotta
right
give a
there.
shout out to Mr. Danye Johnson because Danye calls here every day.
Oh
Every
yeah,
day.
yeah,
Every
Every
day.
every
day.
day.
Danye don't miss a day, sometimes twice a day. Okay?
Yes.
Don't answer. I put it down.
Listen.
Yes, yes. And then when it became 100% for show when my mama left
There's
this
no
world.
games about this Gigi, okay?
Yeah,
And he do not mind putting me on the phone like, is everything okay over there? You need
yep,
something? Everything good? I need to come out
Yeah.
there. Like,
But I love you, Dad.
Danye. Boy, yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Danye.
Yeah, big shout out to Papa. We love you, Papa. You know,
MVP.
because but I will say that they 100%, and those are probably the only two that I kind of stay real close to and connected to, because I feel like at the time we were all going through the same thing and we all understood each other. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If we all understood and we all knew each other's personalities. You
Mhm.
know, they all knew me. They know how I get down. So they didn't push, but they were present.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they didn't push. But they made sure to make sure that they was in the gap and they were standing right there. And you know what I'm saying? D would call and be like, "Hey, everybody get up, go to church." Those were the Sundays that I made it. When he said get up and go to church, me, Paige, Jeezy, we was
Yup.
at church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but like I said, I was cool with the phone calls
Yeah.
stopping, and you know what I'm saying. I don't like to hug. I've never been a hugger. I don't know what it is.
Danye.
Danye, we talking about Danye Johnson, not Danye Thompson.
That's her brother, Niquee. She got a brother
Oh,
named Danye.
oh,
That's
he's talking about, yeah. Shout out to me, laugh out loud. That's funny. Yeah, he late. He not watching the show. He ain't paying attention. But
Lord.
I don't like to hug. I'm not a hugger.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not
not.
a very
She's not a
affectionate
hugger.
You're
person.
not
Do
an
not
affectionate
hug
person.
Niquee. She's not a
Yeah,
hugger.
I hate to be hugged. I feel like that's my personal space. So when people stuff happens to you in life, people they want to give you a hug. It turned into, oh my gosh, you look just like your mom. Oh
Mhm.
my goodness. Everywhere I went, the job, the church, and I was just like,
Mhm.
I really wanted to say, okay, y'all have to excuse my son right now because you already know what he's trying to do, Jeezy. So
It's okay, Jamie.
He all
It's
right.
he
He all
alright.
right.
so he's just I tried to tell him I was gonna be on like a little situation. He couldn't bother me, but
You
so
know he not gonna bother him.
it's 9 o'clock. It's bedtime. His hand is going up.
Yeah,
But
but I thank you for coming on here talking about y'all journey because a lot of people don't understand. Like when you grieving, it's a process. And
Mhm.
when you grieving over a parent, it's a different kind of process.
Process. Yes,
Um,
definitely it is.
yeah. Ooh, she said I look like my mom a lot. Oh Lord, you do too, girl. Little Drusilla.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I thank y'all for coming on. Nikki, I'm gonna have you back on because we need to do an episode about promoters, girl. You gotta come back.
Mm.
I think so. I like I said, oh, I don't know. I guess when I grieve in a different kind of way because I kind of put everything down. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that kind of kept me afloat, even with working with the or not even working with, or just being in the gap with design messengers, because they my bros and I love the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? But it was more so for Chuck. Like I watched this man blood, sweat, and tears do everything that he did.
Yeah,
Everything that he did, whether it was with the group, whether it was with his R&B, whether it was, hey, look, this your
everything.
dream, but I'm here and we moving with it, so let's go.
Right,
Like, you know
right.
what I'm saying? He pushed me into like, nah, what you mean we're not having it this week? No, yes, we are. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Type of situation, like consistency. And it was more so in that time of just being around, like, and they brought me comfort. Just like, you know what I'm saying? They brought me comfort even in that, being around his family and his mom and, just things that we did on a daily basis. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Being there.
yeah.
So it was that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Even with that, like, and I told everybody I ain't Teflon because I had my moments of break for sure, but it just staying busy. And I let like I said, but in the most part I couldn't stay busy. I a lot of things I let go, a lot of things I didn't do. My group was on a sabbatical for about a year and a half, 2 years. One part of the reason was I wasn't really ready to, you know what I'm saying, do nothing. I don't know. Just sometimes, I just didn't have the strength. Sofa Sunday was down for a year. I
Yeah.
just didn't have the strength. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, when the next Sofa Sunday? I don't got I didn't have the joy wasn't in it for me. My joy hadn't restored. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't fun for me at the time. Like first of all, both my business partner, my right and my left hand, I don't got no more. My
Right.
mama handling our paperwork and our business and Chuck making sure that the show ran the way it was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Ran the way it was supposed to run. It
Baby, I
was just
already know about that Chuck situation because I've been over here twiddling my thumbs trying to figure it out. It got so bad, I told Juice, I'm going to call you, Juice, because you probably got the answer I need. You might have to be the stand-in because, baby, I be over here so lost sometimes. I be like, I don't know who to call because the man with the answers ain't here.
yeah.
Whoo,
You know what I'm
Lord.
saying? And when he loved you, he loved you. When he supported you, he supported you
Yeah,
100%.
when it's in
And I
life,
definitely had that full 100% support of, you know what I'm saying? I said, Chuck, we ain't party like this since the Temple Bar
right.
when we was babies. You know what I'm saying?
I sure do remember the Temple Bar and Coast.
Leaving church. He's like, he said, this is the next Temple Bar. This is the Temple Bar right here. We had it.
Yeah,
But
so I appreciate you for coming on. Um, we really went through all these journeys together.
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and we've lost other people along the way. Solomon, John.
Yeah. Just for a minute, like I said, I was lost. I felt like, God, am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be doing any of the things that I have put my hands to for these past years? Because it seemed like my team was getting torn down right after, after Chuck, it was Big Y. And then Big Y gone, now it's John. And I'm like,
I'm saying I said earlier, it was so many people I started losing track. I forgot about Big Y.
yeah, and I love Big Y. He was like a mentor. Like, stay on your game, sis. Stay doing what you're supposed to do. Stay in your lane. Do what you got to do. Can't nobody tell you how to do what you know you're supposed
Well,
to
I'm
do.
gonna tell you, this is what I've learned on my grief journey. Cause baby, it's been a hell of a year for me, honey. On my grief journey, I've learned that I have to keep going.
Yeah.
I be telling myself, I have the, and this is what's funny, Nikki. Me and Chuck used to have these recurring conversations. Like anytime we would have a conversation, it was certain things that I already knew he was gonna say in the conversation, and I would just prepare myself for it. And it would usually be a little bit of shit talking, but I knew whatever he was gonna say, I probably needed to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at the point where I have these conversations with myself, and I try to tell myself what Chuck would tell me.
Future. And baby true
What
mama.
would Uncle
Yep.
Chuck do?
I'm sorry. He's asking me who I'm on the phone with. I'm listening.
Hi, Jameson. It's
Hi,
me. It's me and Gigi.
Jamie.
Say
What
hi.
you doing, big boy?
Little baby Zion messenger.
Yep.
He's a fan.
Yep.
He is a fan. A
Little
die
baby
The
Zion
hard.
the
messenger.
craziest part about that was the week before this all happened with Chuck. He called me like, I know you don't feel like coming outside, but come outside and collect my money at the club at the on Western. Okay, so I'll come outside and collect my money because he was taking his naps in the car before he would go back in there.
Right.
So he'd be like, "Well, I'm asleep. Clock my door and collect my money." But that very same night, we had it was like we just had a conversation about friendship and about how we need to deal with our friends and how we need to love and little petty stuff that was happening. And that boy turned around and he yelled so loud, everybody thought we had a problem. Like he was like, "I ain't doing that. Like I don't. I'm. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like." And I was like, and the next thing out of my mouth was, "We don't. We just look. We after what happened to Ray, I said we just lost Ray out of the clear. Just blew,
Out the clear blue.
talking on the phone that morning to going taking a nap. You know what I'm saying? And then there's no more. I was like, so I don't want us to go through that. I don't want nothing to happen to where you guys don't get a chance to work things out and talk. You know what I'm saying? Talk about
Yeah.
that. And
And you know what's funny about that? Me and him had words, and that was so funny. I had got mad and hung up on him. Okay, let me just. I know some of y'all didn't heard this. Y'all seen the post on Facebook. Let me just tell y'all. Chuck pissed me the fuck off, cause I released Bloods for Two, and he told me he didn't believe in me as an artist to try again and
oh my
come back.
God. Oh my
Lord, I
God.
was so mad. I hung up on him. But I know Chuck is Chuck, right? So when I
Yeah.
seen him, I was like, yo, what's up? I hugged him, gave a little kiss on the cheek, and went on about my business. Then you
He gonna tell
said,
you the truth. He was definitely gonna tell you the
then you
truth.
said, I heard Chuck mad at you. I said, no, he said, I heard you mad at Chuck. I said, I ain't mad at Chuck. Chuck didn't talk that shit on me to me on the phone, and I hung up on him, but he know we good.
Yep.
Listen, Plus for Two got redone after
He'll make you think. Hey, look, and that's why I have to tell Baby Drew and them all the time. Like when Chuck came on board, first off, let me just tell y'all this. Like, let me say, I never asked Chuck.
he
Chuck
just
was
made his
being.
way.
He was on the show as an artist. As an artist. You know what I'm saying? That was his help to me. That was supposed to be his help to me. He was on the show as an artist. And he would come back to back to back just so we can gain our footing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was gonna come see Uncle Chuck. And we
Right,
were doing it during COVID and nobody had nothing to do, nobody had no releases. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Nobody didn't have nobody could really express themselves in music because we was all contained. So it was good for him and everybody else. They were like, oh no, we gonna be there. But I never even asked him. Like, like, hey, let's do this. One day I looked up and he had all his DJ equipment there, like everything he had. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, well, I guess that means Josh not going. I guess that means we're not gonna call Josh next week, okay? Then the next week it was like, I brought so and so and so and so in. And I was just like, well, what about the band that I already have? He was like, don't worry, they cool. I got them. They understand. And I was just like, what is happening? But I mean, he had a very takeover spirit and he took
He
over.
did, but my very first show that I did, my very first R&B and hip hop show, because I have been doing gospel before. My very first show that I did, I said, Chuck, I'm doing this show in West LA on Robertson. I need you to come, but I only need you to come because I need to put your name on the flyer. People gonna show up to see you. Now, you don't have to perform. I just need you to come.
Oh my God,
But
I've done
once
that.
he
I've,
got
I've said
there,
that to him.
once he got there, he came with Juice. This is how I met Juice. This is why I love Juice. We was laughing about this not too long ago. Once he got there, and we started talking about how much I was gonna pay him for coming and yada yada yada, he walked in and literally everybody that was there, even the artists, had came to see Chuck. Everybody. So
Hmm.
he told Juice, "Go get my stuff out the car, man. I got to do a whole show now."
Mississippi.
And he really looked out. He did my show for me. He didn't charge me. You know what I'm saying? He was so proud I had pulled that many people out because he didn't think I was gonna be able to do it. But he was so proud I had pulled that many people out. And that's when me and Chuck really got a working relationship, because he told me, he was like, I'm proud of you, my nigga. He said, and if you need
Yep.
me, call me. He said, I just
Yep.
want to see you succeed. So
Yep.
he always was there. Like when I went to Vegas and I told him, I said, you know what? I want to teach artist development. And he was like, what you know about the industry? And we started talking. He was like, oh, yeah, go put you a class together. So I asked him, I said, you really think I could teach it? He said, hell yeah, you can. And he gave me some pointers on how to put the class together. And it really, I pulled it off. I've been doing
Yeah.
art development ever since. You know what I'm saying? But he always was like the shit talker in the background, but he was the kick in the ass too. Like he'd be kicking me in the ass, like, yeah, go do it. But he'd be talking shit while he telling me to go do it. But that's what I really needed. And I found that out. That's
Yep.
what I really needed. And that's what he's been for the last 20 something years in my life
Yep.
since he passed. So
Yep. It was never about money with him for
never
us.
about money. He
It was
wanted to see
never.
people.
He did so. I mean, because it was thousands of Soulful Sundays there.
Yeah.
And like I
Really
said,
wanted to
we
see
used to
people
go at it. He'd be
succeed.
like, who on the list? And I'd be like, I don't know. Nobody's reached out and said they want to do it. He'd be like, all right, okay, fine. It's me. You got me. Like, just put Uncle Chuck on there. And plenty of times I've had to do that. And he would come through in the clutch and it'd be just what it was, you know? And
Yeah.
then him being Uncle Chuck influenced a lot of other people to want to come and do it. Or at
Yep.
least
It
see what it was
did.
about.
Listen, do you know I've gotten business off of his name? I had a nigga come on my Facebook talking shit. I put my website in there. He went to the website and came back and said, I apologize. I didn't know you knew Chuck.
Yeah, they, you know, it's just, I don't know. But like I said, when he believed in you, he believed in you. When he came and got me, he was like, we kind of getting too big for the motorcycle club, you know? And I'd be like, we? He'd be like, yeah, we. We kind of getting too big for the motorcycle club. And I'd be like, okay. I was like, what's up? And within a couple of days, he said he found a spot. He was like, I got a spot. Let's go check it out. I want you to talk with, we're going to sit down, all three business partners. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And we did that. And that was like the second venture we did like that, to where we came together and we collaborated. You know what I'm saying? I mean, building, show, everything in all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I could honestly say in this game of in music and shows, I have never had a friend like Chuck. In you know what I'm saying?
I
In
know
this
exactly
business,
what you're saying.
outside, and I'm gonna make outside of one person, and that's Joy Carter. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's because when I say
Shout out
she
to
my friend,
Joy.
and she is down.
Songbird.
She's been down for Soulful Sunday since Soulful Sunday started, without pay, with pay. When Chuck
Yep.
said, "Nigga, we the house." Keon gotta say he the house. Joy, you the
Yep.
house. You gotta sing. I gotta sing. You gotta sing. We might not make no money. We might make enough money to pay the band or whatever we gotta pay, but we might not walk away with nothing. And once he said that, it was a cool, calm understanding for everybody else. Like, if this nigga negating his money, then we could do that same. You know what I'm saying? We could do
Right.
that same thing.
Right.
If push come to shove, you know what I'm saying. But it was a lot of times we didn't have to do that. But it was just, you know what I'm saying? Like, in this business, I have never had a friend like him who really had my back and stuck with something that really wasn't his. You know what I'm saying? It was his because he made it his, but he believed in my vision, and
Right.
he pushed my vision. You
Well,
understand
I
what I'm
have to
saying?
say, I had two people. It was him
Without a helping,
and
without
Bam.
trying to get bread.
Him and Bam. Bam been holding me down. Him and Bam, they always held me down, no matter what. And he not here, but Bam still is, and Bam still holding me down. I wouldn't even be singing
Hi,
if it
Bam.
wasn't for Bam. Bam is the one that said, go sing and I'll be your manager. So, yeah, shout out to Bam. Him and Chuck, man, if it wasn't for them, it's probably a whole lot of ventures I wouldn't have took, a whole lot of stuff I wouldn't did. I probably wouldn't even be a promoter if it wasn't for them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? A lot of stuff that I choose to venture on, I always ran past them first.
yeah,
And I always got the okay from them first. So, yeah, shout out to Bam, but yeah, Chuck, boy, the music industry has taken a loss.
for
LA
sure.
was the worst of the hit, but the music industry has taken a loss as a whole. Man,
Yeah, for sure. For
and
sure they have. For sure they have. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we all fish in the sea. trying to make it. And like I said, on my on my team, I mean, as far I'm saying, I'm not saying on my team as far as like supporting me, because my best friend support the heck out of what I do all the time. That nigga fly in, you know what
Right,
I'm saying,
right,
to come to a sofa Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
right.
He'll rearrange that flight to make sure he comes to support me. But I mean, in this business of me doing it on my own, because even with Pilgrim Strangers, it's been me and Jason from, you know what I'm saying, and Verge from like day one. So it was like he's guided me and showed me in that realm of, you know what I'm saying, of what to do. But in this business of doing it on my own and producing a show and getting artists and, you know what I'm saying, and creating something that was gonna last, it was definitely Charles Vincent Hamilton
It was.
that put that trademark on it. Like, you, if you know what I'm saying, it was that put that stamp of approval on it, and
Yeah,
it grew into something very tremendous and something that we were all very proud of and still proud of. And like I said, when I was off for a year, all I could hear was him talking about like, "What the hell are you doing? It was, get up, do something, get to work." Like, you know what I'm saying?
I had that feeling the other night. I was trying to figure some stuff out. I don't know. I've been in my own since November, since my auntie passed. Well, October, November. I've been in my own. I haven't done nothing. I just been at home. And
Yeah,
the other night, it was like he was in the room with me or something. I could just hear
yeah,
him in my ear, like, "Girl, what is you doing? You ain't making no money. You ain't got no shows." It was like I was getting my Chuck lecture in my ear. So I
yeah. I
got up,
posted when he came to me. I
start
posted
putting
it.
the pen to the pad and putting some stuff together because I
Yep,
said, "Lord, that was my sign. That was my sign."
yep. Yep.
So
I when it came to me like that, I literally posted. I said, because I really feel this. It was like my mama and him all at the same time. Like,
Hmm.
we watch you work so hard, and we work so hard to help you get to this
yeah,
point.
you can't
Do
stop.
not set this down. Like, you know what I'm saying. Do
Yeah.
not set it down. Do not walk away from it. And and in those moments were the times in life where I realized that life goes on. Despite
Yeah,
your feelings, nothing in life stops. Everybody's still walking. Everybody's still
right.
moving. You know what I'm
You know,
saying?
before, but I told my babies, I said, if anything happened to me, you get 3 days to mourn, then you got to pick yourself up and you got to move on because life goes on and bills got to get paid. That car
Yeah.
note still got to get paid. That mortgage on the house still got to get paid. You can't sit up here and wallow in your whatever you wallowing in. And you
Yeah,
know,
because I
it's
was broke
hard.
last year, honey.
Yeah, it's hard, but you can't. You can't wallow in it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I thank you
You
for
can't.
being
I
here.
had to learn that I can't wallow in it. Can't, yeah, this kid, I'm sorry, guys. Can't wallow in it. You know, I learned that you got to just keep pushing and you got to keep moving on because it doesn't stop. I'll be standing in the same place and life has completely evolved around me. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of was the talk that it came to me like, girl, please stop. Get up. You know what I'm saying? Do what y'all know to do. And, you know what I'm saying? Get to work. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
his favorite song at towards the end of when it came, from the time it came out, I don't care where we was at, he was playing the One Monkey Don't Stop No Show. And one night I just woke up and cracked up laughing, like, okay, I hear you. All right. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, I get it. All right. Cause
Yep.
it was just like, he was like, yeah, but you already
You
got
know,
it. Keep it pushing,
all
you
this
know.
great
So
journey together. We all here together.
yeah, and it really sucked that everybody, we lost so many people last year. It really, that it was a 2023. I really wanted to just ball the whole thing up and throw it in the
And
trash.
throw
And
it
throw it
away.
in the
Yep.
trash.
And
Go
throw it in the
away.
trash. I mean,
Go
like
away.
literally for a minute, I thought I'm being sick from the time Solo when John passed, from that time, and being at the funeral with Ray, laughing on that back section. You know what I'm saying? From that moment, I started after everybody started passing. I was like, is it something on me, Jesus? Like, you know
And
what
I
I'm
know
saying? Is
that
it?
feeling because you
Because
know what?
it keep
Ray
feeling like
passed.
I'm in these last places with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in these
Right.
last places. Like, and it's like I don't. That's when I had to really question, like, am I supposed to be? Am I missing a vision? Am I
Okay, well,
supposed to
you
be
know what?
seeing?
I'm gonna tell you something. Think about my birthday party that Bud and Sonia gave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solomon has passed, Chuck
Yes.
has passed, Ray has passed, and I stopped there because by the time I got to Solomon, because he was the third person, I was just distraught.
And shout out to Solomon Lake. That's was one of my homies too. I met him through Taiwan with the Terry Boys,
Right,
working for my uncle. My uncle and my cousin had put me to work for a little while when they wanted to sing. You know what I'm saying? And
right. And his
that's how I met
they're
Solomon.
having Taiwan's birthday is next week, and they are having
Yes.
a dedication to Solomon and Ray. So I
Yeah,
will.
shout out to the Terry Boys. You know what I'm saying? This guy. Shout out to the Terry Boys. You know what I'm saying? But
You
yeah,
are
that was a
full.
connection that was made through Taiwan. And then I should frequently see him at the barnyard on Sunday night if I just pulled up. Solomon being there, gracing the keys with, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I was like, what you doing here? Or he'll call me and be like, hey, can you come sing in my church? And I was like, where church you at? But he was when he was working with Chandler and them right on Compton, that's Mount Pilgrim. He would
Oh,
call, I need a bass and I need a singer, and I'll be like, okay, me and Keon, here we come. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, meeting Solomon, that I mean, and it was that was he was a cool cat and he was a humble cat, and he awarded me some opportunities as well, and everything just became sad when I heard about that. I was like, oh wow, like I didn't even know he was sick. Like I missed that whole. As I said, my mind was so gone on the two things that had it captured that I didn't
right,
even see that coming at all. Like I didn't even know he
right.
was sick or that he had left this L.A. Nothing. So when it happened, I was like, what? What is going on? Like who? What? When? What? But I had because I didn't. I just didn't see it. But yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all, and I was just that was just like dang, like I you see you about to I don't like talking about all this.
I
this
know. I
Right.
this
know.
why I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because last year was a doozy. Last year was ugly. It was
It
just.
was. It
It was a
And
was.
my
lot.
And that
grandmother used to, my grandmother, and she still today says this.
Shout out to Grandma.
Hi, grandma, if she
Woo!
watching, but
We love you, Grandma. I'm
my grandmother
sorry.
says this, and well, when you hear elders pray, you know when you hear elders pray, right?
yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
you kind of take from their prayers, and my grandmother says in her prayers, "Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you, Lord, for yesterday. Thank you, Lord, for this day and a day that we will never see again."
Hi.
And I used to firmly pray that and believe that until this year.
Hi.
Because I was like, yes, all that stuff happened last year, but those days I have to see again. I have to revisit again. That feeling comes back on me all over again. So I was like,
Yep.
Yep.
I had to get a better understanding of, Grandma, what do that mean, girl? Because
Right.
I'm a little confused. When you say a day that I'll never see again, maybe not in that reality of it, but the side effects are
Right.
Hi.
gonna hit year after year after year after year on those days.
Hi.
Right.
It's like you know what I'm saying, like a
We
aftershock.
got some days coming up because
Hi,
next week,
Jeezy.
oh Lord,
Yeah,
Hi,
like
days.
Jeezy.
yeah.
Hi, Jeezy.
Okay, Jameson, that's enough.
Well,
I'm
thank
sorry.
y'all for coming up. Thank you too for being here, Jameson. You want
Thank
to
you,
give a shout out,
Jamie.
Jameson?
Who you want to give a shout out to? Who you like? Who you love? Everybody? Who you know what he want to say?
Acting shy.
Thank you for coming on the show, Nikki. And I'm definitely gonna have
Hi,
you back. We
Jeezy.
need to have another conversation.
Okay, most definitely.
But thank you for being
Love
here.
you,
Love
Nikki.
you.
Love you too, sister. Y'all go ahead
Stay
I love
prayed up.
you.
and enjoy
We're all here for each
I
other.
want to say something to Jeezy.
wait. Huh?
What you want to say, Jameson?
I don't know, but it's probably not
I want to
important.
say something to Jeezy.
This is our little star.
Ah,
You know what I'm
That's baby
saying?
by a messenger.
Yeah, let me tell you, somebody said, what they
Keon.
asked him on last, no, they asked him on the Sunday of the concert. They was like, hey, little Zion messenger. He was like, I'm not a little Zion messenger. They was like, well, what are you? A Zion messenger.
Oh, he's
Right.
I was like, I
okay,
said, well, we
okay.
better get it together. I said, well, get them together then.
Jim Chosen and Charlie gonna take over.
Okay.
Because I have a giant message sweater.
Yeah, these kids are their biggest fans. I said Chuck and them had an impact on the lives of these babies, boy, that was bigger than life. And starting
He
with
was their
Junior, he had
star.
a yeah, and you know what I'm saying,
He
and
was
it
their star.
resonates.
Yeah.
It resonated on these babies and on Trey and on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even to keep going. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That momentum to keep going and keep doing and going for the vision. That's from having a great leader, from having you know what I'm saying, a great foundation. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I mean, you know, for it to be still hitting the world like it's hitting the world, and these kids still talking about ZM and
Right.
Amazon Messenger, and you know, Jameson's not missing anything. He doesn't.
Nothing.
These kids really say this to the. I mean, they be in the car. He know every word to every song.
Yep,
Yeah.
he
Look,
do.
now he done went and got his sweater. Oh Lord.
Ah,
Hey,
shout out to
hey,
the
hey!
Zion
This is free. This
Masters.
is free promo for y'all, Zion messages. You never know. Here go your free promo. Hey, hire this kid right here, okay?
Ah, ah.
Free promo. Free promo. Free
Y'all stay
promo.
tuned. Y'all keep looking for Niquee. Look for Soulful Sundays.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. The
Y'all make
next
sure
Soulful
y'all
Sunday is
support.
gonna be March the 16th.
Ooh, your
Okay.
birthday.
That's my birthday. That actually, and I hate the 16th now, but I decided that I don't want the day to affect me negatively any longer. You know what I'm saying? My mother passed on the 16th of the month, and I just happen to be born on the 16th of the month.
Well, we
But
gonna
I just decided not to let it affect me negatively. We're gonna have this Soulful Sunday, and I'm doing it like super big,
Now,
like
what
we.
if I
see
see you?
But that's the next Soulful Sunday for everybody that's wondering. And from that point forward, we're gonna push it on consecutively. I just need a little time to build up, you know.
Okay. Well, y'all make sure y'all supporting Niquee. Y'all make sure y'all supporting Soulful Sundays. Make sure y'all supporting Zion Messengers, or we gonna have
Yes.
Jameson back on the show to tell y'all why y'all need to be supporting the Zion
And
Messengers.
I see you got a new after church. I mean not after church, let's have
That's
church.
church. That starts
That's
February 17th.
that's
That's
cool.
gonna be
That's a really
every
cool
third
thing. Especially with all the new music coming out from all of our LA artists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Saturday.
saying? It's the perfect time to really start showcasing them. And I don't care what nobody who complain about the same artists on the same show. We got to support LA. We
Yeah.
got to support the people that's putting music and putting the time and the effort and gifting their craft to us. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And as as long as I got the power and the strength in me to say support them and to put them on a platform, I'm going to do just that. And I
Yeah,
think
we
that
have other
Let's
new
Have Church is
artists
a
coming
great
out
thing.
of LA too. Some of these younger
Am
artists
I
are coming
going
out, so we want to support
in?
everybody. So yeah, I'm doing Let's Church now. That's gonna be every third
I
Saturday.
want to see what you
Give everybody a place to come, be able to
right here.
sing, rap, praise dance, whatever you want to do in the name of the Lord. And
Yes.
that space now. Thank you to my church and to the people that stepped in, Elder Watson, Elder Mitchell, all the people that stepped in for me to be able to get that space. So that's gonna be every third Saturday, and we have March and February and March already going. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to leave this church and go to Soulful Sundays.
Yeah, and hey, that's right.
Yeah,
Hey, that's how we used to do it. Leave 104 for Hoover and head straight to the Timber Bar
right,
for the
exactly.
after show. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like that's a cool Christian thing to do. What I'm saying is
Listen,
that
we
we
gotta
are
support
artists.
everybody. And you know what? I want people to understand this too, because you a promoter. As a
Yeah.
promoter, you have to go out and support people in whatever their
Yes.
capacity is, because
Yes.
they will come support you. So, you
They
know,
will. They will. And I still haven't been to Kiafa's. uh
yeah,
Her, but oh my gosh, like I'm when I say I'm super proud of these people, you know what I'm saying, that's coming out of their comfort zone. It's always been so kind of quiet and shy. You see
right.
them pop out, but it's, you know what I'm saying. But I would definitely make one of her painting sips with the bands. I heard it's been an excellent situation. It's just that every time she's had one passed thus far, it's been on a Sunday that either Zion Messages was doing something, or you know what I'm saying, or something.
Yeah.
um yeah, but yeah, shout out to these folks, man, that's out here really repping LA. And if we continue to support each other, we won't be put out of business as promoters. No,
Right, exactly.
Wait.
but you know,
Can I say something?
So,
that's the goal. And
thank
shout and wait, one more announcement. We can't we so February 24th, everybody. Get your tickets, get your tickets, get your
Is
tickets
that
for
Pilgrim Shaners?
strangers and friends.
Oh yes.
Pilgrim Strangers concert on the 24th. We got FM2. We got Jason McGee, the Soul Seekers, Zacardi Cortez. So y'all get y'all tickets, buy
Yes.
these tickets, and come support our LA folks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what it's about. It's love. And that's how you build a foundation. That's how you build an outpouring. That's how these people build. We support all these outside artists paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for their stuff. And we here doing the same thing and are just as capable. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And sound just as good.
Right.
Zeal
You know what I'm
forever.
saying? So
Exactly.
it's,
Yeah.
Want to say something?
no. Okay, so yeah, so just it's shout out to all these people that's really out here doing what they're doing, and you know,
Yeah. And we want y'all to continue to support. Thank you again, Niquee, for being on the show. We gonna schedule you to come back because we gonna have to talk about this music thing, girl. We gonna have to let these people know what they go through, what we go through to put a show together. Cause they think it's easy, girl. We gonna have to let them know
yeah,
it's not.
yeah. See my face, but
Nah.
Thank you for being with us, Jameson.
Yeah, Jamie,
I
thank
want to say
you.
no,
something.
no, 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 no,
Real quick, real quick.
no, 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 no.
Real
Say
quick,
thank you.
real
Say
quick.
you're welcome.
A mess.
All right, that's all we doing.
Zeal forever.
No, get over
See
here.
you forever. All right.
This
All
kid.
right, Niquee. We'll holler at you later, love.
Okay, now how do I turn this off?
I'm gonna click you off. Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks.
Oh my
I
goodness.
can't.
Oh my God. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. This show was an hour and 20 something minutes long. I am 24 minutes over, but it's okay. We were talking about grief and the grief journey, and we thank Gigi for being here with us as well. And tomorrow night, our topic will be part 2 of Let's Talk About Grief. For those of you that don't know, Couch Conversations is going on Wednesdays and Thursdays now. Like, the requests to be on the show are so overwhelming. I just double down on the days because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to get all of y'all on here. And y'all still sending me people to be on the show. So right now, like, season 3 is almost over. I have enough guests to be on season 4. So I appreciate y'all. And y'all keep sending them to me, Keep sending them. You can contact us at 702-578-6716 or email us at couchconversationslive@gmail.com. I do check my emails, but if you really want to find me quick, fast, and in a hurry, just text me on my phone. Also, follow us on IG and Facebook at Couch Conversations Live. Keep up with what we got going on. You can also check us out on the website, dmegllc.square.site, which is my regular website, and divinemanagement.weebly.com, where we have all our promotional and announcements, our music news, our artists that we support. Everything is on that page. Also next week, our topics for Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday on Valentine's Day, we will be talking about love and loss. And Thursday, we will be talking about surviving narcissism. And we have a special guest, my boss, my first radio boss, Miss Lyra Kamaldra, the Rhythmic Karmic Angel. She's going to be here with us. And as always, you can always show your support to the show by Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, or Apple Pay. And we appreciate all donations that are made to the show. We really do. And we want to thank y'all for being here. This was a really good show. Y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow for part 2. Let me tell y'all who we gonna have on the show. I do know off the top of my head we have Trevina George coming in. Y'all give me 1 second. I should have had this prepared, but I've just been so caught up in this conversation with Niquee. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get it together. I know we have Trevina George. Let me find out who else. Look, I done put the air horn on.
Nobody pressed you. I didn't tell you to go off.
The air horn that went off. Excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna get it together.
I mean,
Oh Lord. Okay. Tomorrow night we have Sean D, Thaddeus Finley, Trevina George, and we'll have a couple other people stopping by. So make sure that you are here tomorrow night, and then next week we're going to talk about love and loss. And yeah, y'all just stay tuned in. I appreciate all the support. One special person I want to, or not a person, but a team. I want to give a shout out not only to the DMEG team. I want to give a shout out to everybody over at Ask God Records. I was on the phone with the CEO this morning and the team, and I appreciate y'all support. When I say people that rock with me from day one, they have literally rocked with me from the day that I met them. And we a couple years in now, and I appreciate it. I really do. They rock with me tough, and I love it. So yeah, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, y'all know how I end every show. Y'all make sure y'all have a divine night. Peace.